And you also had a good match with Ric Flair, I believe. What are your memories of your match with Ric?
That was another guy that some days we seemed like we were gonna mesh and maybe do something together, and then we would back off to where, I'll have to use the same word again, politics. He couldn't jump in and say, yeah, maybe I can do something with this guy, when Ole and them were saying we're going to phase him out and get rid of him because you're contradicting somebody. So it was such a game there. It was like I said, you never knew what was happening from week to week. But Flair, he's been great for this business. He's been around forever. So
right.
But I think I could have did something with him if it would have been let go.
What about Paul Heyman? Some of your early memories of Paulie?
I think Paul was a good talent. I'll give him credit. He was a good talker. He had a swagger, kind of a good character to him. I wasn't around him. He was kind of in and out of WCW when I was there. He was trying to start ECW and he was trying to do other things. So I wasn't around him a lot, but he was credit to the business.
Right.
Yeah, he was good.
You said you traveled a lot with Terry?
Yeah.
What was he like outside the ring?
That's one of the craziest person I've been around in my life.
Huh.
Funny guy.
He's hilarious.
Slow. Christ, I'd be second, third match for WCW. He was in the main event, and he'd be done at 11 o'clock. We'd still be in the building at 1 in the morning. He'd be talking, and oh, Christ. He'd talk to anybody about anything. And we had some funny times. I was sharing a room with him in Philadelphia one time, and he was getting a call from an actor from California somewhere, and I thought it was Michael Hayes upstairs in the hotel screwing around.
Right.
It was Patrick Swayze. I kept hanging up. Fuck you, I'd hang up. I'm trying to go to bed, and he told me the next morning, Norman, did somebody call looking for me? He was out somewhere. I said, yeah, somebody did. They called my house. You hung up on them. They called and told me. I said, oh, shit. So he gave me hell for that for a long time.
Right.
But, unbelievable talent because he's still going.
Yeah.
I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I drove him around for a year. He had a broken bone in his back. Still wrestled every night. I took him to a hospital in New Orleans. He had staph infection so bad he couldn't walk. They put him in the hospital. But he still every night.
That was like 89, I think.
Yeah, he still worked. He's just a tough character. That's a different era when you talk Dory Jr. and Terry and Murdoch and those guys. They were just tough guys,
right.
Tough characters. You had to work. That's how you got paid.
Raw wrestlers.
Yeah. They were just. I'll take those kind of guys. You take a Funk, Murdoch from that era, that in that time. Every one of these young hotshots that thinks they're a star and now making money, they should kiss those guys' ass every time they see them. And that includes Hogan. Hogan was a tremendous credit to this business. These guys who think they're stars nowadays would be nothing without Hogan. Hogan made this business. When he come into WWF and took off with the WrestleManias and stuff, these guys all want to badmouth him. They should all kiss his ass. They wouldn't make him no money if he went to set the table for him. I will go to my grave saying that Hogan probably made and saved the business. It was dead. It was tremendous.
Right.
I don't owe him nothing. I was around him for a few months in WWF. Treated me very good. Treated me nice. We were on a trip to Europe together. But that may have sounded funny earlier when I said including Hogan. When I was saying kiss an ass, I don't mean he should. I mean they should kiss his.
Right.
Every one of them. Every time I see him, he started it.
You were talking earlier on about when Ole took over the book. He changed the gimmick and made you Trucker Norm.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on that? Were you able to say anything at all?
I asked why, and the only answer I got was they were taking it back to 1950 wrestling. And I believe in the 60s or sometime in that era when he was booking somewhere up in Ohio, he had a trucker character, and he claimed he thought it was going to take off, and it was dead from day one. It stunk, and nobody cared.
What was the gimmick based on? I forgot.
I was supposed to be a truck driver who they tried to say that I went from Norman to Trucker Norman because my dad had been a truck driver and he was killed in a trucking accident or something, and I was supposed to be honoring his memory or something by becoming a truck driver, and
right.
It just stunk. It was horrible.
I think actually WWE now is playing one of your matches on the 24/7 channel with Cactus.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. I think you're doing that gimmick on there.
So. They picked a bad match.
Why did you wind up leaving WCW? How did that come about?
Ole phased it out. Ole phased me out to where I didn't mean anything anymore, and then they didn't renew my contract, and it was just time to get out of there. I had an opportunity to start going to Mexico, where I went quite a few times, 4 or 5 times, and
For what company? EML or
no,
AAA?
I went for Arena Mexico, which it wasn't AAA. It was the other one. I just call it Arena Mexico.
Right.
Paco Lutheroth, or whatever his name was. And I went down there 4 or 5 times as Aaron Grundy. Tag team with another big guy named Solomon Grundy, who had been a big star there. And it was just time to get out of WCW. It wasn't working anymore.
Right.
You know, I wasn't getting any bookings, and you know, just had no idea where it was going. You know.
What was your fondest memory of WCW?
Fondest memory of WCW was probably the reaction from the kids, even in towns that were hardcore heel towns, Philadelphia, up in that area where they cheer the heels the whole match. They would still bring me teddy bears, and they liked it.
Right.
It was kind of a pity thing. They felt sorry for it, you know. And I think that was probably the best. I think that was the most I got out of it. You know, and I would redonate those, and yeah, I think that was it. Just seeing the reaction of the kids, knowing that it would work, knowing that the character did work,
right,
was what meant a lot to me.
You went to Mexico. What was it like to adjust to that style down there? Because it's very different.
I got into an interesting situation there. I went down there. I was about probably 360 pounds, and you're going to wrestle guys who aren't that big. And my partner, who was Solomon Grundy, had been there before me, and they brought me in as his brother. And he wouldn't take a bump. He wouldn't go off his feet for anything. He didn't care. A lot of 6-man tag matches, which they're horrible. They're like watching an anthill. You don't know where guys are. And I was taking bumps. I was taking slams and backdrops and everything. And so, not speaking the language very well and not knowing what was going on, they were going to the Mexican guys were going to the promoter and saying, we really like working with myself, Aaron Grundy. He's helping establish us. He's getting us over. I always went to foreign countries believing I was going to get the hometown guy over. I mean, they're there. So I was doing the same thing in Mexico. And all of a sudden, they wanted to get rid of Solomon, who was a star. He was supposed to be a star there. And they wanted to put me in the single matches, which ended up happening this next time I went back. But we had such a conflict there that I was bumping and working, and he wasn't. That we didn't work together very well.
Right.
You know, so they kind of phased him out, and then he brought me back like 3 more times, and I had a hair match there, and I had the whole deal. You know, the old Mexican. I did everything but take a mask off, which I didn't have on ever. So yeah, I had a hair match, and I left after that, and I went back another time after that. So
did you like it down there? Or?
No.
No.
It's a hellhole.
Okay.
The nicest arenas aren't nice.
Right.
I mean, there's no toilets in half of them, no toilet paper, dirty, stinky. I watch guys shit in the corner, wrestlers shit in the corner and leave it there. Oh, it's terrible. Wrestling bull rings, dead cows outside, you know. It's just a hellhole. I mean, that's terrible.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.